6 things no one is telling you about studying in USA. When I went for my master's to the United States, I went to USC and I was in the heart of Los Angeles. It was amazing, but at the same point in time, there were so many things that I realized that people just don't prepare you for. Counselors will hide these facts. And I personally believe it is important for you to know these facts before you move to the US so that you can decide if the American dream, if studying in the US, later on maybe even settling down there, is for you or not. Remember, this is your man Yash bringing you information that almost no other YouTuber is putting out there, and hence make sure to subscribe so that I can keep creating content just like this for you guys. Without further ado, let's talk about those 6 pointers. The first and my foremost point, and yes, this may actually be one of the most important points I have to share, is do not trust counselors blindly. And let me tell you why. The reason is these counselors, they're paid by the universities to send you to that university. Imagine that you today start a university in the US. Of course, no one's applying to university because it's so new. No one wants to come there. What do? You tie up with counselors, India, China, wherever. And these counselors will make sure that they send the student to your university, and then of course you have to just pay them a share of your tuition fee, right? So that is what is going on in the market. Be aware, because it's like almost no one knows about this. They just think that these counselors are working for free or they're charging a very small amount. No, these counselors are not working for free. They are getting these percentages out of your tuition fee basically. Number 2, and this is also extremely important, beware, admissions and visa are completely different processes. Admissions are given to you by universities, whereas your visa to study in that university is given to you by USCIS. That's an entirely different organization. Why I am telling you this point is because so many counselors, especially in the Punjab region, it's a mess. The way they will give it to you is that they will say, "Aapka visa lagwa denge ji. We'll get you the visa. Just pay us this amount and payment after confirmation will get you the visa." This is not how it works. It's not the visa you're paying them for. You first need the admission, and the visa basically means you just get to go to the US. But which university? You should always ask, where are you going to be sending me? Of course, they'll give you good names first and send you towards bad universities later. And that is why I always ensure that I'm so transparent. If you even talk to me on WhatsApp, I'll show you literally, if we have like a session on Google Meet or something, I'll show you profiles that these are the real cases. We've sent them to these and these universities. We don't aim for tier 3. We don't do tie-ups, because tie-ups are the end of a student's career in a way. So understand the difference between these facts. The third thing you need to understand is the post-study work duration. And this is where the concept of STEM comes into the picture. STEM means science, technology, engineering, and math. So if you're from the STEM field, that means you will get an OPT of 3 years. That means you have 3 years to work in the US, regardless of whether you get the H-1B or not. 3 years you can stay, you can get your return on investment. It's amazing. Whereas if you are in a non-STEM field, that means you will get only 1 year to actually work in the US. And these STEM and non-STEM, they're not just keywords, they are keywords that every degree, every program you go to study, every course, they're related with those. So if you're going to study Masters in Computer Science, it's clear that it's a STEM program, right? Masters in Finance, Bachelors in whatever, right? As long as it's basically STEM, it is clear. It will be mentioned in the program that this program is STEM approved and you will get 3 years of OPT. When it's not a STEM program or when it's not STEM approved, they will not write it down, and your counselor will still push you to go over there, simply because they will get money out of you. So please make sure that you understand what you're getting into, because it's a huge investment. I don't want you to end up not getting the return out of it. Number 4, the reality of the H-1B. Every single year that you get to work after education, whether it's 1 year or 3 years, you can apply for the H-1B. And it's not really you, it's your employer sponsoring you for the H-1B. But what you will also find is that you guys, basically, who have studied everything, who are basically at the top of the line right now, cream students who are hoping to get jobs, you get a job, you're basically almost licking the boots of the employer. You're working extra hours, you're getting paid less. Why? Just to make sure that they sponsor your H-1B. And even after they sponsor the H-1B, you cannot change the company very easily. If you change it, you've lost your position in the H-1B line. There's all kinds of things that are restrictions that apply to you. On top of that, if you happen to get the H-1B, there's a 6 year of anxiousness. People sometimes don't change employers because at the end of the day, the employer has to file your petition for the green card after you have been on the H-1B for 6 years. So it is not an easy journey by any means, but this is not the worst of it. Don't worry, because if you come to me, for instance, we'll help you with the O1 visa instead, where you can actually concurrently work for 2, 3, 4 employers as well. And you can have your own company sponsoring you and protecting you at all times, so that no one can say tomorrow that pack your bags and leave the country. No one will be able to do that. But that's all for later. Once you're there and you're facing these issues, you can reach out to me on my WhatsApp. I'll help you at that time. Now, number 5, too costly. Many people tell me that studying in the US is extremely costly. We just cannot afford it. We're going to go to Germany, we're going to go to Switzerland, we're going to go to this, that, all these countries. But understand this, studying in the US is costly because of the high return on investment later on that it has. You go on to Germany, yes, you will pay less, but at the end of the day, what happens after your degree, you're also paying much more in taxes for your entire lifetime. You're sponsoring the education of other international students or other people that basically want to study over there. And that's a lifelong issue that you have created for yourself. Whereas in the US, yes, the investment is a little bit bigger, but at the same point in time, from my personal experience, we send more than 5,000 cases to the US every single year. I can tell you that we've sent people on full funding, on half funding, 50% funding as well, all kinds of funding. And people over there right now are studying anywhere from between $5,000 to $100,000 per annum they're spending. So it really depends on how you are essentially going, what kind of universities you're targeting. If you know the right scholarship programs, if you know what you're doing, you can finish off your education in almost the same amount of cost that you would finish it off in your own country. Keep in mind that you also get to work over there part-time and full-time during the vacations. So there is certainly a ground for actually paying off your degree over there. If not then after that when you're on your OPT. And understand this, banks know this. That's why if you're going anywhere else but the US, they will not give you a very high loan amount, but for the US, they'll give you a high loan amount. Why? Because banks know how to manage money. They know that the return on investment is there. Number 6, the final point I have for you, recession. A lot of people put their education on hold. Why do they do that? Simply because they don't want to be caught up in the recession. They think jobs are less, and this has been going on for the last 3 to 4 years now. People have been asking me, almost every person who onboards asks me, hey, there's a recession going on, right? Last 3 to 4 years. But what I can tell you is, not even one person who went to the US through us till date, and we've been doing this for 5 to 6 years now, till date, not even one person I've seen come back to India and tell me that, look, Yash, I was not able to get a job, so I had to move. So yes, people are getting jobs. Later on, maybe there's an issue with the H-1B. For that, we have the O1 visa route, we have this, we have that, all kinds of backups. But not a single person who goes to the US is unsatisfied after that they can't get a job. Whereas, and we do have a support for job application for candidates who go and are not able to find a job as well. And that kind of a service is sold in countries like UK, Australia, Singapore. These countries, people go there and still are not able to find a job, they come back. And mostly from the UK. Mostly happens in the UK, you go there, you're not able to get a job, you come back. This, however, does not happen in the US. So while there is always almost, and this, I wouldn't say always, but at the same time, last 3-4 years, there's been a looming recession and people did lose their jobs. Market is getting more stabilized, getting a little bit better now. At the end of the day, what I would say is don't put your education on hold. Go for it. The output, the return on investment is certainly still there. Now, those are the 6 things that people don't want you to know about studying in the US, and that is me telling you all of this directly without even a script, with experience. Now, if you like this video, share this with the people who need to know. Subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram for more such content, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for being here this time.